we just wanted to get your take on this one because we know you're hot on this. Who's more important in the playoffs, Dak or Zeke?
Well, of those two, I'm going to say is Dak Prescott for sure, because he's the guy who really provides the explosive plays, the over-the-top plays, the third-level plays that really can blow a game wide open. But let me just take it a step further. Okay. Really, the people that are most important to the Dallas Cowboys' success really is the coaching staff themselves. The coaching staff is what's going to hold back this football team, because they are the ones who tend to forget what their identity is and kind of make this become something that is too much Dak-centric and not enough Ezekiel-centric, and they don't allow it to just remain balanced, and they kind of like swing the pendulum from one extreme to the other. As long as they stay balanced and understand that these two players feed off of one another, they'll be just fine. I think they're a football team that can actually go into any stadium and win at any given time because they are a balanced, complementary type of football team. But if you had to pick between those two, I would say this. Look, Ezekiel's going to show up. He's going to do his thing because he's just that kind of competitor. As long as you give him the touches, he's going to be there. Dak is the one who, for some reason, it's just not always clicking with him. The accuracy is not always clicking. The decision-making is not always sharp. It's not always timely. He needs to play his best when they need him the most. And a lot of that, though, depends on the coaching staff staying true to what their identity is, which is a balanced football team. Do not make this, I got to throw the ball 40 times a game. Right. Don't do it. Even if you're only getting 2-3 yards a clip, you know this as an offensive player and as an offensive lineman in particular, it keeps everyone else balanced when the threat of the run is still there. It keeps you kind of engaged. You want to move that way. You don't always be moving backwards. So I think that's important.
The identity of the Dallas Cowboys, for the first time in a while, is actually on the defense.
Yeah.
They got one of the best defenses in the National Football League. And a big reason why their defense is so good is because they possess the ball with Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
And actually, when the Dallas Cowboys really started turning around is when the coaching staff finally came to their senses and said, you know what? We need to feed our guy in the backfield. Because when we feed Zeke Elliott, good things happen for us. It brings people down in the box, which allows guys like Amari Cooper on the outside, Cole Beasley, those guys have more room to operate on the outside. And like Louis said, and I agree with, the coaching staff is going to be the thing that either they're going to hold them back or they're going to allow the Dallas Cowboys to become serious threats in the playoffs, because you can't forget who you are as a team. They're a defensive-centric team, but when they're at their best is when they run the football with Zeke Elliott. You got to feed Zeke. When you feed Zeke, good things happen for the Dallas Cowboys.
I just don't know. I agree with you, Louis, how it's not about Dak. I can scheme to take away Zeke. I can throw 8 in the box. I can smother him. I can make his day hard. I know the defense is going to show up. I know who Zeke is going to be. But if Dak can make a handful of plays, keep you honest. I don't need the world. Keep me honest. And now you have a shot. Give your defense a chance to win. He's more than capable. He's more than capable. I mean, overthrowing back, that's not him. He doesn't need to be doing that. And he may need to extend some plays. He may need to make something happen, especially in the playoffs. So I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly, Louis. It's about Dak.
Yeah, the one thing to remember, though, about this team in particular, and remember about the Chicago Bears is this. We'll sit here and go which players are most important, which coaching staff is better than the other. I think the thing, though, that will really give this team a chance and give a team like the Bears a chance is this. As much as we like to talk about the game being a spread game now that is really emphasizing attacking teams as much horizontally as vertically, the teams in the end that are going to wind up being there in this Super Bowl are the teams that quite honestly play downhill and play physical. And Dallas does that. That's why they're always going to be in it. That's why the Bears are going to be in it. Those are the teams that the cream's going to rise to the top, are going to be the ones that are going to be the most physical and play the game going straight ahead and play physical, because that's the great equalizer. And that's why you cannot count the Cowboys out as much as people want to hate on them for being America's team.
What baffles me is, why is the coaching staff having so many questions at this point of the season?
I don't know if they have questions. It's just that, it's funny what happens when you put a headset on and all of a sudden the pressure's on you, and you're not in a meeting room. You're not on a talk show talking about it. You're not just talking about it with your friends, but when you are actually under the gun and the clock is ticking, people kind of forget what got them to where they are. It happens all the time. You see some great coaches kind of go, man, all of a sudden, why are they doing some of the things that are uncharacteristic of them? And that's what it happens to the best of them.
Well, for one, you're America's team. For two, you got Zeke Elliott. Your defense is in lights out, and then you trade a first-round pick to bring in Amari Cooper. So there's expectations to win. That's just part of being a Dallas Cowboys. So now you're plugging guys in different places, and you want them to be successful. And you got Jerry Jones saying he's a franchise quarterback, air it out, let him do his thing. And you may know that's not who he is. So Jason Garrett, like you said, he's got to be true to himself. He's got to stick to a culture and a personality and do it. But just like being a Laker, there's always going to be that pressure.